And for our warm-up act, I remember being in court one day, and the particular officer's cases, say Officer Smith's cases, were all summarily brought forward, and he FTA'd. You know, cops can do that. They can fail to appear. Not a big deal. All the defendants are loving it because at that point, the state has no evidence in effect. So your case will be quickly dismissed. I remember the lady up there, and she's, because the judges wants to get through this stuff, man. And, get through a whole one. They get up to her, and he's like, because they have to go through formalities too. Mrs. Jones, Officer Gherkins is not here to present evidence for the state. The state has no evidence. How do you plead? And she was like, guilty. And everybody had already been told how the game was supposed to go because the judge wants to get out of there too. Nobody wants to be in traffic court. Nobody. Trust me. Nobody. I've been enough of them. She's like, guilty. And the judge kind of, Raj smiled. He kind of leaned forward a little bit. He said, ma'am, you're part of this officer's docket. This officer is not present in the courtroom. The state has no evidence against you. How do you plead? It's like guilty. And I think the judge is ready to just throw his glasses off. And I mean, the whole courtroom, we're all it's a court of law. But there's a snicker that's running through the courtroom at this point. You just can't help it. I think he lovingly set her straight, and her case was dismissed. And she took yes for an answer. I think the world would be a better place if there were more people like that defendant that I just described to you. Oh, I'm sure of it. I've really been immersing myself in this band as of late. I don't know if you've heard me reference them in another track or not. The Black Keys. And I'm really, really enamored with their videos as well as their music. And I'm impressed with them enough to where I've written them a poem today. And I'm going to lay it down here. Don't know if I'll ever hear it. That's why when I lay down a poem, a lot of times I've tucked it in other shit. Because I'm not waving the flag. Notice me, notice me. It's not why I'm here. As a rule, okay? As a rule, I'm a human being. I'm fallible. I may contradict myself at some point. God, with all the crap that's coming out of my mouth and all the shit that I'm putting in this machine, I'm sure there's going to be contradictions, but try to remember that one, I'm a man, and two, maybe my mind is different for the set of circumstances involved. Does that make sense? Or I was a different person at that time. Perhaps, there's a big time delay between the two. So cut me a little bit of slack, okay? I try to be forthright and I try to be consistent. Anyway, this band, these Black Keys, right? I'm listening to them, some of their music. And there's one video they have, official video they have. And I'm not going to tell you anything more about it. Because you'll figure it out. I hope the writing is good enough for at least the novice listener that's aware that a band called the Black Keys exists can figure. I don't know whatever I'm trying to say. Not really. I don't know. Like Martin Lawrence says, I'm never really sure until I'm finished talking. What's coming out of my mouth? So with that, I want to say props to the Black Keys. I find you a very interesting band, I almost want to say eclectic group of men. And I'm impressed with your music and your range. And I guess that's really what's brought me. I know I belabor shit, but I can guarantee you right now, if there are any Black Key members that are ever listening to this, ever, believe me, they're hanging on every word right now because they've read their own press. They're just a very interesting band to me in that they seem to be an eclectic group of men that want to get down, get down and get funky, but then they're also able to take this raw base ingredients, and they're able to take these same, thank you, God. You put these thoughts in my mind, I guess, this imagery. Well, I am a poet, fuck it. I had to get an F word in. Sorry. They take these basic ingredients, called the blues or rag or whatever you want to call it, okay? Jazz even, okay? Moody, feely stuff, good stuff, right? Down, but good stuff. And they take these same ingredients and they mix it into other stuff. Now, the poem I'm about to recite for you is certainly the thoughts behind it, or can certainly be attributed or related to the blues or whatever, but the song it's something more. It's something more. It's brighter. It's better than the blues. Or, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Because they go into a phylum that's, I almost want to say pop blues. Does that make sense? Pop. Hey, some disc jockey coined rock and roll. I just coined pop blues. Boom! There it is. All right, without further ado, thank you, Black Keys, for your contribution to music. I do love music. It's called, I'm giving the title first because I'm going to recite it and then I'm just going to close the track. It's called Altered Notes. Who do you think you are with your back alley blues? Then you raise our spirits there and in my living room. You begin to dance, but I don't dance. No, not as a rule. Though I watch you, and as I do, I find I begin to trust you. I start to dance like no one's watching. That's the truth. You're smiling while styling. You check the time or two. You rock your heart as a baby who still went new. By the time you brought your knee high, I was in tune. It's when your French cuffs finally let themselves loose. The janitor, the principal, the duality, the keys, the moves.